Hi, I'm Angie Avant. I'm a Canadian feminist fiction author, and I talked about working with the moon, my journal, and my rituals on the full moon and the new moon. If you want to check that out, I'm going to put it up here. But I thought it might be fun to go through my collection of oracle cards, because as part of the rituals on every full moon and new moon, I do like an oracle and tarot card spread for some introspection, to kind of think about maybe what's on my mind, what needs to come up to the surface that I'm not dealing with in my conscious life from day to day. So here we go, let's get into it. So first I'm going to start with these. They are my daily little oracle cards. It's got beautiful art, and then it has like an affirmation on the other side. So it's a great way to start the day. This one, it's got one word and then a little description. This fairy dust, again, it just gives you a word and then a little message underneath. And then this one, this was actually a gift. A friend of mine got this for me after we went for tea, and there was a little witchy shop in Almont that I absolutely love. We went in there and she bought this for me. Another one that's part of my daily ritual are these power cards by Louise. I absolutely love them. They give you an affirmation on both sides, and I like to pull one or two from each of her decks. These are the two decks that I have. This one's so beat up, look at it. But yeah, every day I pull a card and I just read that affirmation out loud before I get to work. And I find it's a great way to start my day. So now I'm gonna move in to my tarot decks. This one, the Light Seers Pocket Tarot. It's a favorite of mine right now. I find the artwork is really beautiful. So it took me a while to actually learn what all the cards mean. And tarot, depending on the practitioner, everyone's different. But with the tarot cards, you can read it either upright or reversed when it's upside down, and they have different meanings when it's upside down. I have the Wild Unknown Tarot, animal focused. I haven't pulled this deck out in a while, honestly. I think because it's so hard to get it in and out of the box, but I could take it out of this big box, I guess. The Sugar Skull Tarot deck. This one is my the one that I work with on every full moon and new moon. This is the deck that I use. I am half Mexican, so I love the detail, the Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead details, and it has the little skull. So for me personally, because it has the skull, you can tell if it's upside down or not. So I don't read reversed cards on this one. This is another tarot deck, Archangel Power Tarot cards. And I do have archangels in my new Witchy Woman series. And the artwork is gorgeous. And look, it's got like gold foil. This was given to me by someone very dear and special to me. So it's got a lot of emotional meaning to me. And then this is my final tarot deck, and this is the one that I've had since I was 16 years old. I used to do tarot readings with this when I was in school with my friends and stuff. We'd be having a few drinks and I'd be doing tarot readings. But this is like the traditional Rider-Waite artwork, and my very first tarot deck. I've had this one a long time. All right, now we are moving into oracle decks. Wrap me in your ghostly tomb. love oracle deck, and it's specific to like love messages. So when I'm doing a regular reading, if there's a lot of cards that come out that have to do with love, then I might pull this deck out to like go in a little bit deeper. This is Shadows of the Light. This oracle deck just has a word on it, and it's got beautiful art. And I got this, I think, in a witchy subscription box that I was part of for a little while. This one you actually have to use the book if you want to read more of the meaning. A lot of them they have like a little bit more. Magic of Unicorns. This one, I think I got it at Indigo, and I picked it up when my girls were a lot younger. They were really into unicorns, and it made me think of them. So that's why I picked up this unicorn deck. This is Dragon Oracle. One of the magic keepers in my new series, Witchy Women series, is a dragon. Divine Animal Oracle. I have a lot of animal-based decks because I love animals. This was my first animal-based deck, I think. And this one has numbers as well as the words on it, and the artwork is really pretty. The Classical Mythology Oracle. This one I picked up recently, actually, because my Witchy Women series, there are some Greek gods, goddesses that are part of that series. So I picked this up, very Mediterranean colors, to get some messages from the Greek gods. Angel Answers. And this one is more of like if you have a yes/no question, if you're looking for like an answer, like a very specific answer, then that's when you would pull this deck out. This Oracle of the Sun tarot deck is actually based in astrology. So this one has a bit of a learning curve to it. It's not like regular Oracle decks where you can just read the card. You really have to start to recognize the different symbols. So this one is astrological. It has like the astrology signs, and then based on the way the card is, it's associated with different planets. So see how this one has like the line diagonally across, and this one's across the middle. So those are two different planets. And then there's also the number. And so I use the book quite a bit when I use this Oracle deck. I haven't memorized what all the different, see the line is like up here, what all these different lines mean. But this one has a bit of a learning curve. It's beautiful, and the messages are really cool in this one. It goes into a lot of detail, like a lot of detail for each card. Oracle deck. It's kind of Oracle, kind of tarot. It uses like a regular deck of cards, and you can use regular decks of cards for like divination if you want. So as you can see, like there's a ton of clubs here. Wands, swords, pentacles, and cups for the different either clubs, hearts, spades, or diamonds. And then they also have stuff like the Joker. And this deck, I actually got it in the Jane Austen Museum in Bath, England. I was there with my sister. So again, this one's kind of like, I've got an emotional, it's got a memory tied to it from some of my travels. So I love this deck. I have a really funny story related to this deck and doing a reading, which I'm not going to share on the internet, but it does make me think of that whenever I use it. This deck is, I think it's independent. Like it didn't come with like a box or anything. So I think it's an independent, and it has to do with your career and finances. The Sacred Creators Oracle. This one's fun. It's got like one or two words, and it's almost like an affirmation deck, but not quite. The Witchlings deck. This one's so cute, and it's got all these adorable witches, and then there's a little message and a word at the top, and I just love it. It's so cute. It has to do with plants, and I pull this one out quite often because I am an earth sign, and it's all, like I said, it's all plants, and it's beautiful, and it's got like a bit of a shine to it. But yeah, it's a great deck. This tea leaf deck is pretty fun. I like it. I use it every time I sit down to do a ritual. Some of these decks I use every time, and some of them it's just like whether I'm drawn to them. But these ones are very simple tea leaf, and they have a very quick message, and they're great. They flip out really nicely, so it's great to get. Ooh, new home, new attitude. I don't know if somebody needed. Woo! Did you see that? So they flip out, so it feels very great. Worry over nothing, obstacles to overcome. So when I use this deck, the way that they flip out, it just feels very like this. I need to see this message. There are some people think that the cards flipping out, that's not the way to do it. That you need to like pull the cards, and there's all sorts of ways. And I say just do what feels right to you, whether you want to shuffle the cards and then part it 3 times, and then pull from the top of the deck if you want to do the flipping out thing. Whatever works for you, whatever feels right for you. I'm not gonna sit there and police how people should do their own spiritual practices. Magical Mermaids and Dolphin deck. I got this one again thinking of my daughters, because they love mermaids and stuff. And I use this one every time as a final message. They're all pretty positive messages, so I just like to end on a positive note with this deck here. The Oracle Fairies. This is my first Oracle deck that I ever purchased, and it's very cute. I have a fairy garden in my backyard, and I just love fairies. They're so cute. But yeah, all pretty positive messages. Oh, the Kipper deck. I have a complicated relationship with this deck. You may have seen it quite often, but this Oracle deck actually has not very nice cards in it. So I am always really nervous when I pull this, because it has a great card like High Honor, or here's one, Great Fortune, lovely card. But then, oh, Sudden Wealth. There you go. Wouldn't mind getting that. But then it also has cards like Thief, or Toil and Trouble, or Coffin. What's the other one? There's one that's like Poverty. Where is it? Oh, here's one. Imprisonment. But then there's this one, Gift. Like, it has some really nice cards, but it also has some really unexpected income. Hey, I'll take that. But then there's also False Person, which can be good to get a warning, you know? There it is, Poverty. Getting that card pop out isn't great, or Despair. But yeah, I do pull this one out pretty often. It calls to me. I don't know if I just like the risk, but yeah, because the Oracle cards tend to be really positive, but this one has both. Very positive cards, but then also some really challenging cards in it. But this one is one where you're supposed to stare at the image and see what comes up. But there's also a book that goes with it, and there's a number. But this one is completely like tapping into your intuition. So if you want to develop that, this is a pretty good deck for that. And I will say that a lot of the times what comes to mind does align with what the card's meaning actually is about. Which Oracle deck. I've had this one for a long time, and this one, it just has the one word on it. But what I like about this deck is every card comes with a little incantation. So I like to use this one at every time I do a full moon or a new moon ritual because of the incantation. I can start off with an incantation from these witches, the Oracle witches. So this is my Wild Unknown Pocket Animal Spirit deck. These were made by the same person, this tarot deck and the Pocket Animal Spirit deck. I will say I don't pull this one out often. So this one has animals, and then there's a different element. When you're trying to look up in the little book, it's not in alphabetical order or anything, like, so you just have to randomly find it. So I don't pull it out very often. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's not, as a Virgo, I don't find it very functional to have to, like, that there's no, it just seems very random the way that it's organized in the book. Lynn Wardens, another really fun animal deck. And I got this one when I was in Boston. I was at an art museum, and I really love the artwork associated with it. And it's from a trip, so it reminds me of that trip. And yeah, I really like this deck. I don't pull it out often enough, but I do like it. And this Oracle deck actually offers, it offers a description. It gives some insight into if the card came out reversed, if it came out upside down, it does have a meaning for that in this deck. Then my Crystal Angels, this is one of the first Oracle decks that I got. I think it was after my fairy deck, I got this deck. But yeah, this one, it comes with like what the crystal is, and then a little message, and then you can go into more detail if you look at the book, but you don't really need to with this deck, I find. My Witch deck, which stands for Woman in Total Control of Herself. This is a beautiful deck. I really love this deck. It's got a thick book attached to it. I got this book when I was on my trip to Salem. When I started writing Nexus and like doing research for Nexus on this trip. So this deck feels very connected to the Witchy Women series, but it's got that gold foil, absolutely stunningly beautiful. And then the artwork is also just gorgeous on this deck. I use this deck every time. So that concludes my tour through all of my different Oracle cards. Hopefully, if you're interested in picking up an Oracle deck, you saw something that you liked. If you like to use divination cards, please drop it in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite deck is. I'm trying not to buy any more, but sometimes I can't help myself, especially when I go to new places. I find that I've been either picking up a new deck. I also started collecting charms, so I'll pick up a new charm, or maybe a crystal. But because I like to have little trinkets from my travels. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting indie Canadian authors. I really appreciate it. And I hope you found something of interest in this video. See you next time.